Hey son, here's something I want to go over. Shouldn't take much more than about 5 or 10 minutes. This is going to be more on the technology side versus learning and all that stuff. I have some updates to the channel I'll be doing too. However, I want to show you something on a Windows computer, how to save a lot of bandwidth. This is something I found out a couple of years ago. I'm going to go ahead and move my settings page over here. My ISP came up and said, hey, we're going to start charging for any data over 1 terabyte on your network. And I was like, yeah, that's not a big deal. And then about a week later, they sent me a notice saying I used like 2.5 terabytes of data. And I'm like, there's absolutely no way I've used that much data on my own. I run a layer 7 firewall on my network, and mostly just to make it a challenge for the kids to surf porn. They can't surf porn, they just have to work at it. And I was like, so I have a lot of analytics. I have a lot of data I can sift through and figure out. I was like, what in the world am I using 2.5 terabytes of data? Well, I went to the logs, and it showed 2.2 terabytes of the previous month's data came from Microsoft Update. All right, so I'm using Windows 10. I pretty much have a pure Windows 10 environment at home. I've got a couple Linux computers as well, but that's for research purposes, and or maybe ham radio stuff. But I like Windows 10. I think it's very stable, really. I haven't had any problems with it so far. That and pair it with SSD hard drives, it's great. I haven't had any problems. I don't install a lot of crap on my computers either, so that helps. So the point of this is going to be how to turn off the Windows Update on your computer so you save data, so you save lots of data. So considering I have, at the time I probably had maybe 6 computers up. That's 2.2 terabytes of Windows updates. And even if the computers are sharing within itself, it shouldn't have been going over the WAN connection, right? And I feel like I should be teaching Network Plus here. I may do that too. So what we're going to do is you're going to go to your Windows settings, right? So if you go down to your Start menu, there's going to be this little gear down here, and you're just going to hit on that. Well, actually, my picture's in the way, so let me create my picture up here. If you go down to the Windows menu, and you have the little gear down here, that's settings, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do settings. Let's see, and it's going to open up this. Well, we're going to come down here to Update and Security. We're going to go to Windows Update. We're going to go to Advanced Options down here. And I leave this on for other projects because I do use Microsoft Office, and I've got Project and Visio and stuff like that. So I do. Now we're going to come down here to Delivery Optimization. See this down here at the bottom? Look, follow my mouse. Down here to Delivery Optimization, we're going to click on that. And it says Allow downloads from other PCs. Turn that off. Just turn it off. Go to Advanced Options, and then you can set absolute bandwidth, for downloading and uploading, right? So I would, right here it says like by default, look at that, amount left, 500 gigs by default to allow somebody else or Microsoft to allow other PCs to download updates off of this computer. What I found, because at first I did test it, I went and I allowed PCs on my local network can't download patches from each other, right? I figured it would just be on my local network. They'd use some kind of query, and it would never cross over to the internet side of my router. That is not true. When I turned that feature on, it did not change my bandwidth at all. I, as a matter of fact, was using just as much bandwidth. And so I turned it all the way off. And you know what? Now I use, a couple gigs a month with all my computers. I'm down to 5 computers now. 6 computers, I guess. And I'm 6 computers, and okay, so at least 6 computers, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, something like that. I don't know, 37 computers in my house. And I still use just a couple gigs a month in Microsoft updates with this turned off versus having, half a terabyte of data being shared off here. My personal opinion is that Microsoft slipped this in, and they said, hey, you know what? It costs us a lot of money for all this bandwidth. Why don't we share that love with our customers? And, well, that's my big FU to Microsoft, because, it's like, you know what, I don't buy your products. And and some of these I did not buy, like that came with the OS on the computers. And then a couple of computers I have was a free upgrade on Windows 7 when Windows 10 first came out. So I don't think I bought any of this. However, I wouldn't, I don't think that just because I got OEM or because Microsoft in fact offered it to me for free as an upgrade path, that now I should be charged for it. And especially when ISPs now charge like $10 a gig over that 1 terabyte. Now 1 terabyte is hard to do. I mean, you have to be streaming like multiple videos on your computer 24 hours a day. I would say 5 active computers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 active computers in the house every day. We got one for school and the kind of laptops that we use in the evenings, and then my work computers, and I got a couple work computers. And my typical monthly down bandwidth usage is somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 to 350 gigs. We don't have a TV, so we do stream, stuff from like Hulu and whatnot. I'd like to get rid of Hulu because it's just as expensive as cable, but whatever, So we're not really saving anything. It's just cable, But, and their prices go up just like cable every month. So it's no different. It's just, anyways, if you need to save money on your bandwidth and you don't know what to do, turn off this delivery optimization at all on your Windows 10 computer. And while we're here, if you've made it this far, congratulations. And next, let's go back to other settings in the privacy settings. And this is some of the things I haven't liked so much in Windows 10. Is again, your privacy. If you look at what this stuff does, and I do run a user computer and not an administrator account. I use an administrator account. I'll make another video about that in the tech section. Windows by default turns on a whole bunch of tracking. Camera, microphone, voice activation, notifications. You know what? If you go down into your privacy and your Windows settings, privacy, and go through all of this and turn all of these off. Turn 100% of these things off. Now, I do have to have the camera on. So this, I can make videos and whatnot. I also teach and whatnot. But you can turn off all of these individual things, and then you can turn on a couple things like the Brave browser and Logic Capture, which I'm using now, and so forth, right? So I can very, very specific to allow access to that. And the same thing with like the microphone, right? I turn on what I want to use. Why is Microsoft Photos need my microphone again? Xbox Game Bar. And you do need to come back and change or check this stuff occasionally, because guess what happens? Windows is like, oh yeah, by the way. So, anyways, go through here, turn all of this stuff off. Just off, 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 off. See, I think update sometimes goes through here and just turns the stuff back on, and you can't be complacent. So. And what's this going to do for you? Well, you know what? It's not going to... You're pretty much not letting your computer send your private data to Microsoft for whatever they're going to do with it. And can I confirm that these work? No, I haven't done that analysis yet. I'm sure there are others that have. But I say just turn all of that off. Keep, if you want to keep a little bit more privacy on your computer. If you have multiple users on the computers, you have to do it for every user. Okay, so log into their accounts, do the same thing. Log in, log in, log in. My whole thing was here is this delivery optimization. Turn this off, and it's going to save you a lot of money and a lot of bandwidth. Okay, that's all I got for today, boys, and you guys have a great weekend.